All right, last topic for training, and I'm afraid, we've kind of hit the wall on time here, but if everyone's good for another few minutes, I'd like to introduce you to the revenue reports list. In our reports list, we've got a whole bunch of different kinds of reports here, but the ones I want to cover today are the revenue reports. In our revenue reports list, we have accounts receivable. This is very simple. It's just everyone that is currently unpaid. And I can either yes or no include invoices that are in collections. And that's just going to give me a simple list of total amounts, aging, typical accounts aging report, and then who's unpaid, how many days outstanding are they, what their total amount due, and if they've made any partial payment. A second invoice is our admin fee remission report. So depending on how you're set up with DMS, every quarter or every month, you will send in your device registration admin fee portion. And I'm actually going to jump over to a real county to look at some of these other reports because they're not all that fun to look at without data in them. So if I look at admin fee remission report for first quarter 23-24, this is a report from DMS that's showing the total amount of admin fees collected during that time period. It's on a very specific DMS form. And then, as we do with all of our reports, we have all the raw data for the report behind the scenes in a second tab. So they just received 2 payments during that time period. Here's who they received them from. Here's all the invoice details. Here's the actual admin fees that were paid. And then the county state split for those fees. Next report is a billing summary. This is a summary of all billing for a given time period. So I'll just leave this as first quarter 23-24. And this is going to provide a list of every invoice that was sent out, whether it was device registration invoice, a miscellaneous invoice. You can see these are all miscellaneous invoices that were sent out during that time period. And then the invoice details, which gives me the breakdown of the invoice item and amounts for those specific invoices. This is not a great example. I've talked to Placer County about this, but way back when they used miscellaneous invoices to charge things that should have gone through the device registration fee system, but these were old invoices that were prior to CalCATS that they just wanted to capture so they could enter the payments. Next report is a collections report. That just gives you a list of all the invoices that are currently in collections and the details on them. I don't think they have any in collections right now. Nope, they got no one in collections as of right now. Next is device billing. So one of the things that I mentioned with incremental invoices is halfway through the year, after you've sent out your device registration invoices, you may want to send out a second tranche of invoices for companies that have acquired new devices. Not all counties do that. It's not required by any means, but you certainly can charge because when they get new devices, they have to get them sealed. So you're doing the work, you might as well charge them the fee. I will pick 24. This report, this device billing report, just shows you how many devices each location was invoiced for and how many they currently have. So, Bel Air Market didn't get invoiced for anything. They got 61 devices currently. They're underbilled by 61 devices. And further down, we'll start seeing, okay, well, Castle City Mobile Home Park had 201. They were billed for 201. They're underbilled by 0. So everyone above the 0 line here could be eligible to receive an incremental invoice for that additional number of devices. Then we have our device registration summary. Each event, whether it's your fiscal year or your calendar year billing, I consider a device registration campaign. And this report just gives you some general statistics on your device registration campaign. I don't know if we have any in here. No, let me pick a county that actually has some. So let's go to their device registration summary for 24. Okay, so this report is our device registration summary report. It gives you a breakdown of, for the current campaign or whichever campaign you've selected, how many customers, how many total devices, your total device amount, PV amount, statistics about your device registration, how much has been paid, and what your total balance due is. And then it breaks that down by location and shows you what every location got invoiced and what they paid, if they're paid, overpaid, or underpaid. Then it breaks it down to invoices for locations that get multiple invoices, and it gives you additional detail at the invoice level. And then finally, it breaks it down to the payments, shows you who paid what, when, how those payments were broken up into the different device registration buckets, and if there was any adjustment on those payments. That's great. So lots of good statistics in there about your device registration campaigns. Next, we have reinspection invoices. This is the report I told you that will tell you if there are re-inspections that are eligible to be invoiced. I don't know if they got a bunch actually. So these are all they don't have any outstanding. They've invoiced them all, but you can filter this column to no, and it will tell you all the ones that you need to generate invoices for. And then a couple more reports. We have a revenue audit report. This is, remember I said there was an adjustment function on the weights and measures ledger that I discourage people from using. This revenue audit will print out all the adjustments that were made and what the explanations were for those adjustments. Hopefully at some point it'll go away once I've got all of the different nooks and crannies of the invoicing system worked out. And then finally, I have a transaction report. This is really useful for people who want to get a list of all the transactions they entered on a given day. So I can select all users, or I can select a particular person, and I can say, show me all the transactions that were entered by that user or those users from this date to that date. So this is transactions time-stamped today for all users. Well, I guess I have to pick a user or a group of users. Let's pick everyone. And then that will give me pretty much that same transaction report we looked at from the transaction ledger, but just filtered down to that time period and those people. And so if you've entered a bunch of payments or entered a bunch of invoices for a day, you can quickly print out everything you did for that day, or you can print out a larger scale and then use the Excel, reporting, filtering, pivot table features to do some analysis on those.